Hey you guys, back with another review, this time of the Dark Knight Rises movie review. And I gotta say, I really liked it. I wouldn't say it's better than... Well, okay. So basically, it doesn't live up to The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight was probably the best out of the three movies. But by all means, The Dark Knight Rises is not a terrible movie. So, I recommend you go see it. It's a really great movie. There's a couple things I didn't like about it. I did not like it. It's just some things I kind of want to complain about. One being is Bane. I knew from the start, from how he was going to talk, that, his voice was kind of going to bother me. And it was just really hard to understand what he was saying most of the time. Like, you could understand him. Like, sometimes he sounded clear, and other times his voice was all, like, muffled, like that. I was like, what are you saying, man? I can't understand what you're saying. And there's no subtitles, because, he's speaking English, so you're obviously going to understand what he's saying. But, I mean, it gets so muffled, you can't even hear what he's saying. That was probably my biggest complaint. But, Batman, his voice didn't really change. He still had that whole... But, I mean, it wasn't really bad. He wasn't doing it too bad, except for one part. That's when he went crazy. I feel like Christopher Nolan was just thinking, like, hey, what would be funny is if we just threw in a part where he was yelling really bad. And, like, when I saw it, when it happened, I started laughing really hard because I just started thinking of all the, all these parodies they have on the internet and stuff of how they make fun of his voice. I just started thinking, I was like, are you serious? There's no need for that. But, despite the way they all talk, it was still a great movie. A part of me felt like they could have done a little bit better. But basically, the synopsis of the story is pretty much like if the Joker had succeeded in his plan and made the whole, like, all of Gotham City go crazy and chaotic. That's basically what Bane does. He pretty much succeeds in what Joker was trying to do in The Dark Knight. He just makes Gotham go completely crazy, and everything just goes chaotic, and everyone's going crazy, and he keeps everyone from leaving Gotham, and pretty much the same thing Joker was doing. So pretty much he was trying to just fulfill Joker's plan, although he never says it is. It's not. They're not all on the same plan idea or anything, but it's basically just what he was doing. They don't really ever mention the Joker either. They don't, like, kind of hint or nod at it. But the movie takes place 8 years after The Dark Knight. And Bruce Wayne is, like, crippled. And I guess ever since that night, no one's seen Bruce Wayne and or Batman. And Bruce Wayne's just kind of, like, hiding out in his mansion for 8 years. And, I think he's crippled, and he goes to the doctor later on, and they say that he has no cartilage in his legs and stuff, so it's like, I don't know if it's from him not doing anything, that he's just become weak, and, like, lost all his muscle or something, but, it was really strange. And, let's see, Catwoman's character, I really like the acting. Anne Hathaway's performance was great, but I felt like she didn't really have much to do other than, like, what she was supposed to. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I mean, like, she pretty much just, stole stuff, got into a couple fights, and then she was kind of like, running around, oh, hey, you don't have to do this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like, she was a good character, but she was just kind of strange, and she shot people. It was kind of weird. She gets into a fight with Batman, or she fights alongside with Batman, and all these guys show up, and she grabs a gun, like shoots a guy. I was just like, Catwoman just shot someone? It kind of blew my mind, and at no point in the movie does she ever use a whip either. I was kind of disappointed about that, but all in all, I'd say it was an alright performance. Anne Hathaway did a good job, but the Catwoman aspect of it, it was alright. I didn't care too much for it. Not that she had much to do with the story, other than, like, she kind of pulls Batman out of doing stuff, but, like, she steals something from Bruce Wayne, and then, he goes out and tries to find her and gets it back, and then at that point Bane's already in Gotham, and he's, you know, causing trouble and stuff, so that's when he kind of like kicks back into gear and starts doing things. Tom Hardy's performance, like I said, he was a good Bane. He was actually really strong. People were telling me that, you know, he wasn't going to be strong and that, you know, he was too weak. He never used the Venom, but he was already strong enough, so he didn't need it. But I feel like he was only strong because, you know, that's how he was just made to be. He never uses Venom, but I mean, he was already strong enough. He was kicking Batman's butt left and right. Speaking of that, they did a good job with how they, you know, between the fight between Batman and Bane and everything else that goes along with that. It was very much like the comics, and, you know, that made me really happy to see that. That fight was pretty cool, even though he was getting his butt handed to him, but, yeah, so it was really good, and then there's some parts I was just like, oh, man, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I don't feel, like, disappointed, but I definitely think they need to make a new one, especially towards the end, because at the end, they, you know, hint at, you know, Robin. Well, they don't hint at him. They straight up say, like, hey, this is Robin. But what happens is Blake, see, Blake is the new character by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who did a good job, but, you know, like, they kind of hint at him, but they don't, and his name's Blake, so when I was watching the movie, I was thinking, I was like, there's no way this guy becomes Robin or anything, but, he goes, towards the end, he goes to this place, and he goes like, yeah, I need to pick something up, and then she goes like, I don't see Blake, and he's like, well, try my real name. So then the lady goes like, oh, I like your full name, you should use it. And he goes like, and she just goes like, Robin. So then they're like, what? And so I'm thinking that was Dick Grayson. And then, you know, he kind of just he doesn't stumble upon it, but he goes and finds the Batcave, swings into there, he's walking, and he steps onto this little platform that raises up, and that's where, like, the Batsuit is, and then it cuts to black. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I'm just like, man, they better make another movie, because you can't just leave on that note. It's like, how is he going to become Robin? Is he going to become Batman? What's going on? So, and, you know, they just got to make another movie, and if they don't, I'm going to be really disappointed. So, I'd have to say that that's the only reason I'm disappointed, is because they would leave the movie on that note, and then not make another one. So, hopefully they do, because if they don't, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. But all in all, I'd say the movie was really great. It really ties up all the stuff to the movie. Everyone's performances was good. Anne Hathaway was good, despite the fact that Catwoman wasn't, like, exactly, you know, really necessary in the movie. But yeah, it seemed a lot like they got a lot of stuff from the comics, which is good, because I like that. And, you know, that movie was just like, it was pretty much like mass chaos on Gotham, because once Bane showed up, he started taking out everything. and the huge twist at the end. I kind of called it, and you might be able to call it while you're watching it, but yeah, there's a huge twist at the end, and you're like, oh my god, no way. But I kind of already called it. I kind of knew most of this movie before I even watched it. Like, I didn't know how it was all gonna like play out, but I kind of called all the stuff that was gonna, like, you know, surprise you later. But you know, I was still surprised that I was right. I was like, oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, it's just a really good movie. I'm just trying to think of all the stuff. It's like, I really just don't know what to say. It's kind of like Arkham City. When I played that, and then you know, spoiler alerts, Joker dies. You know, some part of me, I was just like, wow, I can't believe the Joker's dead. Like, something just made me feel really weird and kind of sad that he died. But when I watched this, like, I kind of felt the same way of how it, like, I was just like, man, so this is how it ends. But I don't want it to end. I want there to be more movies. But I don't know what else to say. I would definitely recommend go seeing it if you haven't seen it yet. I give it I'm gonna say a 9 out of 10. I hate to say that, but yeah, I'm gonna have to. But definitely go see it, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. Well, I guess that's about it. Just rate and subscribe. Go see this movie, and then I'll talk to you guys later.